everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Takeover Game Talk Edition. Today, I am by myself, and I'm doing a project that I kind of came up with in the midst of everybody saying that the Thunderbolts / New Avengers is the best Marvel project post Endgame, and with Fantastic Four first steps coming out in a couple weeks, I really wanted to get in here and give you my unbiased, for the first time, unbiased, what I think are the 3 best projects post Endgame and what are the 2 worst projects post Endgame. I just figured that makes it easier for everybody to do it like that. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and start this off by getting away from all that gunfire. Let's see. Alright. So, I'm going to start with the good. I think, in my personal opinion, probably my favorite project post-Endgame, Wakanda Forever. I think it had a lot of pressure under the midst of, excuse me, sir. It had a lot of pressure under the midst of Chadwick's passing. It is coming off of reshoots. It is coming off of post-COVID. You know, there's a lot of stuff that is changing in this. Let's just pick a random place. Well, you know, since I'm a lone wolf today, let's go to Lone Wolf. I think the project is fantastic. I think the acting is phenomenal. It's good enough that Angela Bassett got an Oscar nomination, and she should have won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. She should have won to the point where they gave her an honorary Oscar. That should tell you something. But, I mean, Winston Duke gave us the iconic "You bald-headed demon" line. You had Letitia Wright going into her role as Shuri and acting her ass off. Oh my god, she was so wonderful. Tanoke for Namor, he brought that character to life, gave a really good feel to that character. Let's see who. Let's see who else. Like I said, Angela Bassett acted her ass off. I don't understand how she didn't win. To my defense, I have not watched Everything Everywhere All at Once yet. I do plan on watching that eventually. You know, it's just it's taking time to get to that. You had, why not have 2 of the same gun? You had, you know, Lupita as Nakia, and I think her role as Nakia in Wakanda Forever was much better in this than it was in the first Black Panther movie. Danae as Okoye, I think she did phenomenal. She really made you feel like she made you emotional. Introduced Riri Williams, who at the time that I'm recording this is finally getting her show, I believe this week. Yeah, this Wednesday. She's finally getting her show. So I'm a little worried about that show, but not in a bad way. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But anyways, back to my point. The movie is phenomenal. It's a fantastic movie, and I loved it. And I could probably get emotional talking about it. I'm going to try not to, but I can never ever be more thankful for what Chadwick Boseman did for the character of T'Challa, what he did for the Black community, and I can only ever just wish that he would have been here to see the success of that movie, because it's fantastic. He would be very proud with what they did to that movie and that character. And I cannot wait to see what they do with T'Challa now. I know there's rumors of him coming back, like in Doomsday and Secret Wars, so we'll see. And speaking of T'Challa, I think this had probably the most emotional post-credit scene. You know, Nakia showing Shuri her nephew, saying that his name is T'Challa, or that he's named after T'Challa. I mean, come on. What a fucking show. Fucking show. What a movie. Loved everything about it. I was about to start shooting that AI. Who the fuck? Hold that thought for the next one. Where the hell did this guy go? Gotcha. So anyways, that is, I think, like I said, my personal #1 project post Endgame. Now with that being said, let's get into the bad. Jumping from movie to movie. This one, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, I've never been shy to admit I am biased when it comes to Marvel. I love a majority, if not all, of Marvel products. Quantumania is not it, Chief. I always thought, even before everything happened with Jonathan Majors, I always thought it was funny that Kang was... Is this thing following me? Huh, okay. Anyways, I always thought it was funny that Kang was going to be an Ant-Man, as an Ant-Man villain. Anyways, we're good with the sauce. Yeah, no, I just thought it was weird and not really a good choice in my opinion. I think Paul Rudd did great. I think Evangeline Lilly did great. Catherine Noon was decent. I liked her. I would like to see more of her before I really give her a judgmental score. Jonathan Majors was good as Kang. He just wasn't right for that role. Or not that role, sorry, that project. It gave us a post-credit scene that meant nothing. It gave us MODOK as a laughingstock. It gave us it gave us a lot of boring, unforgettable nonsense. And I think what bothered me the most is it ruined the trend of the trilogy of the third movie, the hero losing something. Because in every Marvel third movie, the hero lost one thing or another. Tony lost his arc reactor. Thor lost Mjolnir. Cap lost his shield. The Avengers lost. Peter lost everything. And then in Ant-Man, everything is fine. And that kind of bothers me. Because, hell, I would have been fine with Scott being stuck in the quantum realm. And then immediately after beating Kang, he's rescued. I think that it just made me feel nothing. And it's very forgettable. But, going back to the good. Talking about Thunderbolts, Thunderbolts, that's my #2. Honestly, it was kind of a hard choice because it would have easily been between that and ooh. But anyways, it would have ooh. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, that's nice of them. Probably doesn't mind that I'm gonna heal. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna go back and collect my loot. So yeah, Thunderbolts is my #2 best project post Endgame. It's a shame that the box office is not going to reflect that. The movie was it's a fantastic movie. The acting is amazing. Yelena Florence Pugh really brings life and love to Yelena. Louis Pullman is a delight. Nothing I can say wrong about him, and I can just not wait to see more of these guys. If you do want a more in-depth talk about that, I do have a video on the channel. You guys can definitely go check that out. But it is a wonderful movie, and I'm so happy that it exists, and I cannot wait to see this group of people. I did not think that I was going to like this movie as much as I did, and I am very happy to be proven wrong. So, with that one being short, that jumps me into my last bad project. I keep saying movie, I don't mean movie. I keep meaning to say project. I don't really know what these pom-poms are, but we're going to take it. My last worst project. It should be no surprise. It's the one that is never going to be talked about again. It's one that just had an anniversary. And it's easily one of the worst shows I've ever seen. And I dread to watch it again when I do my inaugural annual... Don't want to go into that way because I don't want to get scanned. When I do my inaugural MCU rewatch, Secret Invasion.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
That show is so bad. It's so forgettable. They killed Maria Hill in the first episode, and then they killed the Skrull, whose name I can't remember, in like the fourth episode. And then they gave Amelia Clark a forgettable character. Like, it's a joke. I don't understand how they fucked it so bad. And what makes it worse is I can guarantee you that nobody's gonna remember that show. No one's gonna remember that show because the president, and I remember at the end of this, he made the comment about the Skrulls being real people or a real threat, and that he was gonna start a war with them, right? Brave New World happens. He's not the president anymore. He's not even talked about. Idiot. But he's not even brought up again. Like, how has it been so long? And there's no mention of anything about Secret Invasion. I think that just goes to show you that they realized that movie is dog shit. And, well, they are not going to talk about it ever again. And I would be shocked if they do. But taking us from one show to another, I'm looping in 2 seasons of Loki as the best project post Endgame. I don't think that's to any surprise. I think Loki, even though I love Captain America, I love Sam Wilson. Who the hell? I don't know who shot at me. I know y'all heard it. I don't see anybody. We just gonna keep moving. Anyways, I love Sam Wilson. I'm very, obviously, I love Haley Steinfeld, so I love Hawkeye. Loki is just the better. It's leaps and bounds better than anything else Marvel Disney has put out. Maybe X-Men 97. That's a tough one. But Loki, the performance that Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson bring is next level. Their chemistry is beyond next level. And the fact they got 2 seasons out of this, wrapped up a decent finale for Kang, and gave you God Loki, or God of Stories Loki, sorry, he already is a god. Is that a person? No, it's a debris. But the fact that they gave us such a complete story in 2 seasons is phenomenal, and made you really love this character of Loki, who's not even our main Loki. You know, he's again the one from Endgame. Screw it. You know what? I'm gonna let them do their own thing. I'm alright. Last person. Yeah, you know, this is the Loki from Endgame, who didn't have any of the development that our Loki did in Ragnarok. And he still is better. Like, he became a good guy again. It's in his blood to be the good guy. I loved it. I remember when I went to MegaCon and I saw Tom Hiddleston. You know, I told the guy, I was like, you know, I remember watching Avengers in high school and being like, oh, yo, I hate Loki. You know, Loki sucks. Yeah, he's the bad guy. Nobody wants to cheer for him. To now, fast forward 10 plus years later, I'm watching Loki and I'm like, he's the best character in the MCU. And I think that I genuinely think Tom Hiddleston Tom Hiddleston's Loki is probably a top 3 character. Ooh. He's probably a top 3 character in the MCU. I don't think there's any debate in that. So, with that being said, that does wrap it up on my list. Again, my 3 best projects are Wakanda Forever, Thunderbolts, Loki. My 2 worst projects are Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Secret Invasion. Now, if you were to ask me, oh, Geek, oh, Steven, what would be an honorable mention since... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, while we sit here in this loading screen, if you had to ask me for an honorable mention, the only one I probably would have came up with would have been Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That is a phenomenal movie. That'd probably be my 4th best project post Endgame. James Gunn delivered, and I cannot wait for Superman and see what he does with that. But with that being said, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this Game Talk with Geek Talk. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. I greatly appreciate any and all support. I love you guys, and everybody take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. Deuces.